It's finally here, one of my most anticipated 4K releases. We have Conan the Barbarian on the Arrow Video 4K. Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? I hope y'all been having a great week. We got a bunch of fantastic new releases. A lot of them got delayed here in Canada, so that's why this review is a bit late. But got it in, popped it in the player, and I wanted to share my thoughts. But before we get into that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Quick little reminder, because we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so that would be amazing. So anyways, Conan the Barbarian on 4K Blu-ray. Is it worth your money? Well, let's get into it. Starting with the tech specs, this is a 2-disc UHD limited edition set. You get the UHD 100 triple layer disc as well as a BD 50 dual layer disc, which is region free, so you can import it or get it somewhere else, and you can play it wherever you want to. So my UK peeps, you can also pick this setup if it's reasonably priced. This comes with Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10. The aspect ratios are 2.35 by 1, so you will be getting black bars on the top and the bottom of your screens. This comes with so many audio formats. You got Dolby Atmos, you got True HD 7.1, you got a DTS Master Audio 1.0 mono, a Master Audio 2.0 mono, and your standard Dolby Digital 5.1. So let's get into the Conan the Barbarian on 4K Blu-ray. Starting off with the image quality, Arrow kills this 4K transfer as they perfectly preserved the filmic look and retain what it would be like to watch this movie. If I was sitting in a theater in 1982 with a film print, that's probably what this would look like, because this looks dang beautiful. With a brand new 4K scan of the original camera negatives, those 35mm camera negatives. Ooh, baby. Details in this beautifully crafted world is on full display. Castles, forts, thrones, huts, camps look time accurate, and added detail from this new scan immerses you into the time period. The fantastic costumes of fur, leather, armor, those kind of chainmail like clipped together armor things look fantastic. Being able to make out those minute details where the armorer used his hammer to add to the density of the metal, seeing the links of metal that make up a protective like layer shirt, seeing the little details in metallic wristbands, things as well as the weaponry, seeing the craftsmanship of the hilt and the handle, the details within the blade itself. It's just absolutely fantastic. So much detail is preserved in this 4K transfer. This is what I hope would happen when a classic film made on 35mm celluloid gets a 4K treatment. Nothing is skewed and the grain is intact to preserve details. But I do have to say that for the grain haters who just see like an Arnie movie on 4K and want to pick it up, you will not like this release whatsoever, because it is so grainy. It is extremely grainy. You know, low light shots, which are prevalent in the film, display a lot of grain. Like it's much, but again, you still get the details from it. So I'm not a grain hater. I love grain, but I will say this is extremely grainy, and it's that kind of grain where you have a bit of the color skewing a bit. Like you can, like if you zoom into some screenshots that I have up here, you can see a bit of the red and a bit of the blue kind of like jittering, but it's not terrible, because if you're just watching it on a TV, if you're not, I pixel peep, but for me, I love grain. I love the aesthetic it gives, so I personally appreciate it. But again, people who are just seeing like, oh, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film action movie on 4K, let me go pick it up, but I hate grain, I want it to look like T2. This is definitely what you're getting. This is the antithesis. This is the opposite of T2. So if T2 is overly processed, no grain, DNR, like bullshit, the thing I hate the most, this is the opposite. This retains all the information, it keeps the grain nice, and it's obviously better than the Blu-ray, because with this added 100GB triple layer disc, you're getting less compression, grain looks less boxy, it looks more natural, the structure has more fluidity, and it has more of a natural sitting within the imagery, whereas the Blu-ray, because it's being compressed, and even if you have an older Blu-ray release, it's gonna look really bad. So this is a huge upgrade from that Blu-ray release. And I also will say, you know, not all glitters is gold, as there are There are quite a few shots that are soft. There's quite a bit of it actually. Not enough to bother me, but it was enough to notice them. Kind of like how Mad Max, I love that transfer, but again, it was, there was quite a bit of soft sequences. Now let's get into the HDR featuring a brand new Dolby Vision transfer. The contrast is again realistically rendered with primaries showcasing natural beauties of sunsets and lavish clothing and drapery, having these rich and vibrant reds. Oh, I love me some reds, and it's really, really beautiful here. But again, it's not like over contrasting with the skin tone. Sometimes when you have really nice, vibrant reds, the reds also translate to people's faces and they look like lobsters. Here, it is not the case. It has a more realistic tone while also not muting skin tones as well. It doesn't overcompensate, but it doesn't undercompensate. So black levels are also extremely inky and retain a lot more detail compared to its SDR counterpart. Even the Blu-ray that they package with this has a lot more detail because of that added Dolby Vision, because it is a really dark film again. So a lot of the shadow detail is much more visible and you get a lot more detail retention. White levels are a lot more pure, as the previous Blu-ray releases always looked gray, and the grain structure and the compression didn't really help it either. It'd be gray and then it looked like sand. It wasn't really good at all. But thankfully, again, that's not the case here. The Dolby Vision is a more tamed upgrade, I will say, but definitely a more appreciable one for a more accurate representation of the filmmaker's intention. All right, now let's get into the audio. This was surprising. As stated in the tech specs, this Aero release comes with 5 different audio tracks, and each of them is fantastic. The Dolby Atmos was a great surprise as it utilizes added range, giving the audio more depth and immersion. The boisterous and triumphant soundtrack sounds fantastic and never muddies the other aspects of the sound design. Like I know I've had a lot of audio tracks where when you have a really triumphant soundtrack with battle scenes and stuff like that, it really overpowers everything. Here, because you have the Dolby Atmos, everything is able to sit in the mix comfortably without feeling like it's trying to push each other to trying to have the loudest gain. It doesn't really have that. Dialogue and sound effects never feel clumped together and have their own room to present itself. But I will say the surround capabilities, it could have been a lot better. It was quite, front heavy on the mix, but it's not terrible because you still have a pretty good range that is to be heard. Specifically in the top channels have their moments. People, screaming from the top, birds flying over, those kind of things. You can really hear it. The overall sound design of the action sequences are fantastic and easy to draw yourself into the filmmaking of this overall great. It's a pretty good audio transfer. So Conan the Barbarian on 4K Blu-ray as a total package, this is a great outing from Arrow Video. Congratulations, guys. The only flaw that comes from it is, again, with mainly the source material itself. That being, if you're not a fan of grain, this is extremely, the grain is really heavy, and the numerous amount of soft spots that are in this film can take away from the overall 4K transfer. But as a 4K restoration, Arrow definitely put love and dedication into caring for this project, and it shows. There are also hours and hours of bonus features that make this a definite collector's edition. I see a lot of these collector's editions that come with an audio transfer or audio track, maybe a behind the scenes that's something 30 minutes, and it's bullshit. But here it comes with great packaging, comes with a bunch of stuff. If you're a fan of Conan O'Brien, Conan the Barbarian, this is definitely a must own. I will give this, I'm not gonna do numbers because numbers is a bit too much, but I'll give it an A. This is an A out of A. Yeah, A. This is an A. I give this 4K release an A. So congratulations, Arrow Video, starting off the year with a heavy hitter that is Conan the Barbarian on 4K Blu-ray. Let me know down below, did you guys pick this up? Did you pass on it? But yeah, so that was my review. An A, that's a pretty good rating. I was really anticipating this 4K release, and thankfully it didn't disappoint me, so that's why I gave it an A. Anyways, that was today's review. Let me know down below if you picked it up, if you enjoyed it, if you're going to pass on this for other releases. But yeah, so that was today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Get us to 2,000 subscribers. That'd be amazing. And I'll see you guys next time. Please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you are watching this. Please stay safe and God bless. Peace, cheers, long live physical media. See you guys.